Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Red Pill Diaries. I'm your host, Rashid, and once again, we have a reoccurring friend of the show, Tarik, Cyril, Amar. Greetings, my friend.
Hello, Rashid. I'm so happy to be back. I know it's been a long time, but finally.
but hey, it's no time like right now. Tariq, give
Yeah.
me your assessment of what is going on in West Asia, and are we watching the collapse of American power globally?
Yeah. Look, I think those are two questions, but you're absolutely right. They are connected. They're very closely linked, I think, because if American power is collapsing at this point, then it is because of what's happening specifically in West Asia or what some people call the Middle East, right? You could make an argument that we've seen sort of a harbinger of that. We've seen a preface to that, right? In the so-called Ukraine war, which is really has been a war between on one side Russia and on the other side Ukraine, but also really the collective West. And of course, until Trump came back in his second presidency and even into his second presidency, that West still very much involved the United States. And by the way, the United States by no means.
We're
Hmm.
encircling Cuba. We've taken
Hmm.
out Syria, and we're
Hmm.
in Nigeria. All of the places that, and we took
Hmm.
out Libya. All of the places that were trading partners with Russia and that were supplying oil to China. She was taken out strategically, and Iran was her big goal to take out so that she could hit a two birds with one stone, Russia and China. And now
Hmm.
she finds herself in a quagmire in because her economy is hemorrhaging because remember Iran is now charging a fees for ships to come in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, and they're charging in Chinese yuan, and they're using the
Hmm.
Chinese chips system instead of
Hmm.
Swift and the dollar. So
Yeah.
if we look at that, especially um, looking at the American debt situation, couldn't this be a reference point to when we can look back from the future and say, yeah, this was one of the main antagonists for the fall of the American empire and the Western world?
I very much hope so. And I think all the arguments you've advanced are correct. And I agree with you. Um, Let me put it like this. My sense is that history has a horrible sense of humor. And sometimes it bites you in ways that you really can't foresee. But I think you're right that this is an unusually, maybe unprecedentedly large crisis, deep crisis of American power in the world. Let me put it like this. Look, it's not that America has never been defeated. This is what they're trying to tell us, but that's not true. America has quite often been defeated. It was defeated in Afghanistan. It was sort of.
I think that always gets left out of the equation because people want to believe that America will remain as a top power because she's been a top power for as long as we can remember. And I don't think that that is viable. And before you comment on this, let's just look at the AI overview of what I'm saying. As I was talking to you, I was typing. I'm multitasking, and it says imperial collapse is a long term process. This is what I was talking about going back. This is a long term process where a central state loses its ability to enforce power, resulting in fragmentation, territorial loss, and or total dissolution. We're watching all of those things right in front of our eyes. So if we're watching, there's a secession movement all across America. We see that America can't impose her will fully, even on Venezuela or Cuba. She can't impose her will on Iran. She can't impose her will on Georgia. Georgia is leaning back towards Russia. She can't impose her will on Russia through Ukraine. She can't impose her will on China through the Philippines or through South Korea or through Japan. We're seeing
Hmm.
all of the evidence, imperial evidence of collapse of American power. So there is no way, even if we wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, that she could remain a viable global pole of power just on her debt alone.
Let me put it like this. I think
Speak any language at the touch of a button. Yes, now it's possible. Meet Inez, the cutting
which is look at it like this. I'm going to simplify, right? Having prime.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Tarik, for joining me. I'm not going to hold you long because you granted me this time because I do want you back on soon, sooner than what we had today. You know,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been moving and stuff. I've been, all sorts of things
yeah.
have been happening. But no, definitely, absolutely.
Be blessed, be safe, and thank you so much for joining me today, man. I really appreciate it, and I'll send you the video shortly.
Thank you very much, Rashid. Hope to
All
see
right,
you soon again.
all
Bye
right, bye
bye.
bye. All right, thank you, and I want to say to M Sparks, thank you for the super chats for both shows today. I missed saying it. You gave a super chat on the show we just did before this with Rahika D- Desai. I think that's Professor.
You had her.
Um,
Yeah,
um, and
she's
so I
good.
want to thank you for that, and thank you for the super chat on this one with my guy Tarik. Also join us in about 15 minutes, and we'll have Scott Horton on the program. Um,
Wow, that's cool. You're having a day. I'm not important. Scott Horton is great. I love it. I love that man. Tell him. Say hello from
and
me. I'm a
and at
fan.
5 o'clock, we'll be joined by RT journalist Helen Beninsky at 5 p.m. Central Time. I want you all to continue to come back, soak up all of this wisdom from all of these great people around the world who are giving you their opinion and giving you some information. I really appreciate everything. So as I always say, do right by others, not because there's some material gain to be had or some accolades to be had. Do right by others because it's the right, the humane, and the godly thing to do. Because even when no one else is watching you, remember that God Almighty is watching you. As my late, great, and beautiful mother would always say, God sits high on the throne of power, but he looks low at the actions of man. Know that I love each and every one of you who loves truth, but know that the love that I have for you will always pale in comparison to the love that God has for you. And until we next speak again, stay strong, stay true,
Bye bye.
but above all things, remember to stay righteous. Hey, mama, your baby boy loves you more than life. Thank you, everybody. Deuces. We're out of here.